Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The buzz you hear around this chamber, I suspect, is enthusiasm for the underlying bill. This is the Ledge Branch Appropriations Bill for FY 2017, and it is the single piece of legislation that enables all of the constituent service that goes on from this institution. I want to say that again. Not one act of constituent service would go on anywhere in this country but for this underlying text. It's the subcommittee on Ledge Branch led by my friend and colleague from Georgia, Cardinal Tom Graves. And they did great work in the Ledge Branch subcommittee, Mr. Speaker. It's no surprise to anybody in this chamber that the Appropriations Committee,
Gentleman is correct. The House will please come to order. Will members please remove their conversations from the floor? Gentleman from Georgia may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's no surprise to any of my colleagues that the House Appropriations Committee has been hard at work producing those 12 appropriations bills that we're required to pass every year. Our success record at getting that done as a body has been spotty, but the success record of our committee at getting that done has been historic. And even more, unlike many bills that come to this floor, the Appropriations Committee has said, you know what, we did the very best that we can do, but we welcome the input and counsel from our colleagues because we all have different experiences. We all come from different parts of the country. We all have something to add. So this bill, Mr. Speaker, makes in order 13 different amendments, 7 offered by Republicans, 6 offered by Democrats, so that we can improve this bill, discuss this bill even more. Among the top line items in the bill, Mr. Speaker, is funding for our Capitol Police. No more so than this year have folks had the Capitol Police on their minds. The service that those men and women provide is indispensable in this chamber. And I would argue more than it is valuable to us, more than it is valuable to our constituents who visit this chamber every day throughout the year, it's valuable to the families of those who send their loved ones to work here each and every day. This bill funds the architect of the Capitol, Mr. Speaker. You know, we talk so much about spending reductions and trying to be responsible. I'm so proud of the spending record in terms of those reductions on inefficient programs that this chamber has generated. But we have priceless American treasures right here in this building. I recall when you could see the water running down from the Capitol Dome, destroying.
House will please come to order. Members will please remove their conversations from the floor. The House will please come to order. Gentleman may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Destroying those precious American historical treasures. This bill funds the architect of the Capitol so that we're not penny wise and pound foolish in terms of our obligation to tend to America's treasures. And this bill funds the Government Accountability Office, Mr. Speaker. I dare say there's not a member of Congress in this institution that hasn't had a constituent ask about a GAO report, that hasn't had occasion on their own to ask our auditing agency, our accounting office, to do a study of the best ways to use our resources, to make use of the limited resources that we have. They provide an incredibly valuable, nonpartisan service so that we can do the very best for our constituents back home. And, Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you that this bill is funded at a level that's lower than the level was when I arrived in this chamber. That's lower than the level was in 2009 and 2010. I think that's important because I think thrift really does begin at home. Thrift really does begin at home. Throughout every year that I've been in this institution, I'm now in year 5, every year I've been in this institution, we have absolutely gone after inefficient programs elsewhere in the government. We've absolutely tried to make a difference in curbing that tidal wave of debt that threatens the next generation, but we have started here in each and every bill. Mr. Speaker, folks don't know it. The newspapers always carry the stories of excess on Capitol Hill. I don't know where they find those excess stories. I will tell you that the allotment for spending of my office for all the constituent service that we do is less than was allotted 10 years ago. Inflation corrodes it. The job market erodes it. Time and time again, those dollars buy less, as every American family knows. But we have committed ourselves as an institution to doing more with less, thrift beginning at home. There's a modest increase in this bill from last cycle to deal with those issues like our Capitol Police, like the Library of Congress, like preservation of the Capitol. I support all of those in underlying measures. And I support the rule by which we're bringing this measure here. Again, 13 amendments are made available by this rule, Mr. Speaker. And if we pass the rule, we will then move to the underlying bill, vote on those 13 amendments, and move to final passage. With that, I urge all of my colleagues to support both the rule and the underlying bill and reserve the balance of my time.